Hey, what's up, guys? Siri Emerald here. So I suppose you can probably tell what I want to do here. I've got a box that I want to unbox, and I've got got a lot more boxes here to go through. But with the announcement of Hot Toys' new everything R2-D2, I guess I wanted to unbox my R2-D2 that I hadn't unboxed yet from Hot Toys. I also have the BB-8, BB-9 that I haven't done. So I want to do these real quick. I don't know how long they'll take. But I also have a box here that I don't know what it is. So I need to get that. And then y'all can decide if you want me to do something else. Of course, it's your show. You guys tell me what you want to do. So this is the Hot Toys R2-D2. Sideshow made all of these, except for this BB-8. And this one's pretty cool. It came with 6 of these arms. So I've put some of the other arms in the others that I have. I have an R5-D4 and these R2. This R2-D2 is supposed to be like the unpainted version. And the I forget what the number of this one was. And there's the R2Q5 and the R. Sorry, I don't remember which one that one is either. But these are the Imperial droids, and these are supposed to be regular droids. Let's see. Oh no, wait. CB2, CB something or other was that one. But this was their deluxe R2-D2, and this BB-8, he's a pain in the ass. If you don't have him sitting on one of his stands, he really doesn't ever really cooperate with what you want him to do. He never really sits like you really want him to. So he's quite a bit of pain in the ass. You really have to use his little stand piece that he came with. You really can't get him to sit how you exactly want him without using that to keep him from rolling around. So let's open up this Hot Toys R2-D2. Like I said, because they have a new R2-D2 they just introduced, and I pre-ordered it, of course, through Big Bag Toy Store. Hot Toys plop there. But I haven't looked at this Hot Toys R2-D2. I think primarily the difference is going to be that I think this one makes sounds, and I think it has a die-cast dome. So he's cleaner than Sideshow one. Oh, also the Hot Toys, new Hot Toys one is supposed to represent Hot Toys. What's going on, Vincent? The new Hot Toys R2-D2 is supposed to represent R2-D2 from the original trilogy. So essentially, I haven't made the video on him yet, but essentially he includes, from my understanding, or what it looks like, every single attachment that R2 came with from any of the original movies. So Star Wars: A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. So, because he's called pretty much the original trilogy R2-D2. I don't know if you guys are Star Wars fans. What's going on, Shafiq? I hope I said that right. I am getting the deluxe version. Really, I really am getting him, obviously, because, man, I like these little Astromechs. I like them. They're cool. And this, what was he called? CB25? What was he called? CB25, I think is what his number was. He didn't come with anything. So these guys didn't come with any of their little arms. So R5-D4 came with, can you see all the guys? R5-D4 came with a little bad motivator here and his little antenna. But none of them came with arms. And some of them, when you open up the little doors here, and I've done a review on all of these guys, so you can check those out on my other videos. When you open up the doors here on these guys, there's not even a little area to hold them, but they have a little spot here for all of these. So I've put them in there. I mean, R2 should be doing something, right? One of these, I think it was this CB25. I tried to open up his little arms here, because these arms open up on this deluxe R2, the Sideshow one. I think they do. And so I tried to open up the arms on one of the other ones. I don't remember which one it was. Maybe it was my R5. It was my R5, actually. And you can open them up, but they're not designed to be open. So if you open them, you're gonna have to modify it to make them to be able to open and close. Other than that, for the most part, all of these bodies are the same. They just painted them differently. Hot Toys, new trend now, deluxe version. Yeah, deluxe version of everything, it seems, right? Nice collection. Just pre-ordered my first model, the Hulkbuster. Awesome. Awesome, dude. Let's see. I hope I'm still broadcasting here. My feed is saying I'm not. Let's look around over here. Yeah, I'm still broadcasting. Let's get this taken care of over here. I'm having router issues here at the house. Sorry about that, guys. I like to watch what I'm doing up there. Hopefully it'll catch up. So when I got this one, and like I said, I haven't taken it out of the box yet. It's the first time taking them out. I do remember thinking, where's his arms? That's a sideshow trick. No arms? Just gonna give me just a figure? Come on. R2 needs to do something. And I guess this one does something because he makes noises. And well, this guy lights up too. They all light up actually. So he lights up and he makes noises. And I'm not going to go into the whole spiel on him. I'm really just going to compare him to the sideshow version. I'll do a review. This is the remote that controls him on and off. I'll do a review of him later. Just want to get him out. Man, oh man, I do not have a feed, do I? No, that sucks. I guess I'm gonna have to miss your chats, and that really sucks. I don't want to miss your chat. It's your show. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Good. Chats were filled in. Thanks. Do you collect DC? Oh, when you bought Hot Toys, you don't quickly unbox them. Man, I used to, Shafiq, every Saturday. Let me talk about unboxing them quickly. So every Saturday, I used to unbox my Hot Toys. As soon as they came in, man, I couldn't wait to get them open. And last year, my my wife started having some medical problems and and I'm gonna tell you a little personal story here, guys. So I hope you bear with me just for a minute. Whenever something like that happens, it really takes a portion out of your life where you just can't get going with anything else. So everything kind of got put on hold, and the Hot Toys just started stacking up because I'm still buying them. I still love my Hot Toys, and it just kind of got out of the habit of doing things. So she's better now. And so now that's why I'm trying to get back into this. So I was thinking, doing these unboxings of what I had stacked up is a good way to start. And I need to get I'm really going to get back into the swing of things. I'm going to actually do the full-on reviews and everything. Like I said, it's just when life throws you a curveball, it really mucks everything else up also. So that's why these. Now, DC. So Superman and Batman were the first characters that I had any dealings with at all in the comics when I was a little guy. And I think no matter who you are, Superman and Batman, you can't go wrong with them. They are Superman and Batman. You know what I mean? And that entire DC universe as well, which for the most part, Superman and Batman are pretty much the lead front characters of the DC universe. There's a lot of other major players, but for the most part, it is Superman and Batman and then everyone else. So they were the first ones that I knew about and read when I was a little kid. And then in the early 80s, when the Secret Wars came out from Marvel, that's when I kind of discovered Spider-Man. And I was like, holy cow, who's this guy? And, he was a young kid like myself, and everything he was doing, I can relate to it more, I think. So I respect the DC universe. I respect Superman. I respect Batman. I respect Wolverine, Wonder Woman. I respect those guys. Aquaman. I watched Justice League on the cartoons when I was a kid. I watched all the cartoons when I was a kid, so I'm familiar with the characters per se. And of course, I know the original stories of Superman. You know, they've changed the story many times. And of course, I watched the Christopher Reeves movies and The Adventures of Lois and Clark. That was really my Superman. I forget his name. Terry Hatcher played Lois, and I forget his name. Who played Superman. But as in regards to collecting, there are so many lines of things to collect. And when you're talking about a figure that's between two and, well, they start at $200 and go up. 300 is on the average on Iron Man figures. And the space involved in collecting these, you really have to limit your collection to something. So I've limited my droids in my Star Wars collection. Love Star Wars, love Star Trek. So I don't collect all the other Star Wars stuff. I also don't collect the Star Trek stuff, though I love Star Trek. Predator makes some amazing Predator figures. The Alien line that goes along kind of side by side with that. It gets to the point where you can't collect everything. You know what I mean? And so I focused on the Marvel collection. And it's funny, I didn't get the Peter Parkers from Amazing Spider-Man or Tobey Maguire's Spider-Mans. And although I loved those movies, and Spider-Man was who brought me to the Marvel Universe, I really started with the Iron Man. When I seen these Iron Man figures, actually what got me into turning Hot Toys was Tron. When I seen Tron, I was like, are you kidding me? That thing's amazing. The Tron cycle? Oh my God. So I didn't buy it, but I bought the Iron Man. So that's where I'm at. So I love the droids. They're small, they're compact, and come on, they're the droids. Who doesn't love the droids? So that's why I collect these. But I would collect DC. I just don't have the room to do it, and or the expense involved in doing it. So these are definitely look like they're the same scale. I'm wondering, looking at these though, they're not. It's not like Hot Toys borrowed the mold. I'm gonna have to peek over here to see if this is still broadcasting because I've lost all my feed again. Yep, I'm still there. Oh man, I hate this. I need to bring a wire in to directly connect it. I actually think it's probably my Ethernet card on my laptop. So let's make sure I got all these guys in frame here. So at first I thought, I wonder if Hot Toys borrowed the mold from Sideshow. And I'm telling you right now, looking at this bottom panel right here next to this, whatever this is, I don't know what all these pieces are. There are R2 guys out there who know everything about these figures, and I'm glad for them. I don't. I can tell you right now, they're not the same mold. So Hot Toys definitely cut their own mold. Got a little shiny little brass copper piece here, which they've reused in some of the other ones. R5-D4 has the exact same piece. So this one is a darker one, and it's textured, where this is nice and smooth. But it's like a copper braiding, and that one is copper braiding, but it's dark, and you can actually feel the braiding, where this one's encased in plastic. That one's prettier, but I like the dome and the paint because it looks, I don't know, sharper. So like I said, this guy looks older, dirtier. This guy looks newer, cleaner. So this, I would think, in my mind, this would be like on Spaceship. This would be like on Tatooine, I guess. But not really, because this dome is more, it's rusted, whereas this dome is not. Let's see what the bottoms look like in regards to this middle leg. If this internet doesn't work, I'm going to stretch an Ethernet cable over. I'm pretty sure I got like a 50-foot Ethernet cable someplace. Functions exactly the same manner. Yeah, I mean, I really wonder if they contacted Sideshow for some pointers in regards to things. Obviously, Hot Toys is able to figure out their own thing, but why mess with a good thing when it works? And of course, as you know, these are interchangeable. I would imagine they're the same on the Hot Toys. It would be silly not to do that. Well, it doesn't appear to come off. Let me see if I can find that Ethernet cable. I need my chat. I don't know what you guys are doing. Can't find it. Oh well. I hope you guys are with me. Sorry about not having any chat. That completely sucks. Sorry, guys. So let's move on. I'm not going to stick around on this too much. Like I said, I'm not going to light it up. I'm going to do a full-on review later. I like the dome. I can tell for fact that it's not the same same molding. So Hot Toys may or may not. Oh, I broke my little R2 here. Oh, these little light things. A little broken there. So, yeah, like I said, I can tell they're not the same mold. For instance, these little guys right here, and I will do a review on him later. So now let's get the little BB-8, BB-9 out. Because when this came out, that's his only arm. And I was like, really? That's the arm we want to see. We want to see his little flame. And that's what we got. So I didn't understand what in the world they were doing there. So, of course, when this one came out, which includes the flame and the BB-9, I, of course, bought it. Deluxe, right? There's the inside packaging. The back of the box. BB-8, BB-9E. And a whole lot of arms. Ah, and the little mouse droid. I forgot that that came with that. We have his little arm antennas, and I'll be doggone. I remember when that came out, the first one. Some of the guys are telling me, "Be careful, don't break your antenna." And there's the arm. That's the one we want, right there. That is it. That's the cream right there, man. That's the cream of the crop. Grasping arm. Don't know what this is. And the original zapper arm. open doors. And the little drawer that also came on the original BB-8. There's the little mouse droid. A cute little guy. And the wheels are on an axle each side. So you got 2 axles. 4 wheels will allow him to roll. I don't remember his little tail on there. I guess there was a little tail. How else would it be called a little mouse droid? What are these? Ah, the bases. Okay, cool. A lot better than the sand base. I'm not always wanting to depict them on sand. And I don't think the BB-9 has any way of putting any attachments on him. Yeah. They're all encased in here. So I don't understand how that would be practical for an Imperial droid not to have the ability for his little doors to open up and do things. Kind of seems silly. So I think that was a bad design flaw by the designers. Whereas, of course, this BB-8 is going to have all the little doors and whatnot on him as such. I'm going to have to read the instructions to see which doors do which. But I'm going to get these guys out of their package. In honor of the deluxe version R2-D2 coming out. Guys, I'm really sorry about chat. I will, after the video, respond to everybody's chat. So feel free, please, to leave your comments in the section as it comes along. When I watch this video later, I will definitely respond to your chats then. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry about this internet issue. This is really, I don't believe it's my internet. I believe it's the Ethernet card on my laptop. And I thought I had a 50-foot cord laying around. I'm sure I do, but I don't want to spend 30 minutes looking for it. You know how that goes. So I've opened those up. Let's get this. I think what this is Camaro. Because I collect also a full-size Bumblebee Camaro. 2010 Chevrolet, introduced in association with Hasbro, officially licensed Bumblebee Camaro. And I own one, and I love it, and I drive it, and I put it in car shows, and I also collect these things right here. Oh yeah. Come on. So this is just like the one I got last week that was loose. This week he's in a box. So this is a rendition of, made by Hollywood Rise. I thought this was made by Jada. It is. Or Jada, or Yada, or Hada, however you would say that. But, so this is supposed to represent the concept Bumblebee from the movie. But he didn't have his Transformer logo on the side of him in this movie. And the reflectors are the wrong size here. though it's in the right spot, it should be thinner. But doesn't matter. It is a full-on, straight-up Bumblebee Camaro. And so I got this guy last week also unboxed. So I have him boxed also to add to my little collection. And there you go. I love owning a Bumblebee Camaro. Love it. Love it a lot. Love it. Now let's open up. I've been wanting to get to, what time is it? Oh, okay, good. We've got plenty of time. I've been wanting to get to this Iron Man 2 diecast. Let's get these little guys out of the way. Let's make some room for an Iron Man. Right? So I have the Armor Unleashed Iron Man 2 Mark II. Love it. If I remember correctly, it came with the Don Cheadle head. Because they made, if I remember correctly, Hot Toys made 2 Iron Man Mark IIs. And one came with Tony Stark head in the weird old Hot Toy style head sculpt, and the one came with the Don Cheadle head. I don't have the original Iron Man 2 with the Tony Stark head. I have just the Armor Unleashed version. And I've done a review video on him. You can see that in the history of my videos. Make sure I'm still broadcasting here. Yeah, it says I'm live. Good, good. Terribly sorry about this, guys. This really bites. This really bites. If there's anything I can do to get this back. Dang it. Now, yeah, yeah. Welcome back, guys. Actually, welcome back me, right? When you buy hot toys, you don't know. Sorry, anyway, we'll support you. Thank you. You don't know, man. I don't know, man. I prefer Hot Toys products more than Sideshow. Yes, Shafiq, I'm with you. Hot Toys over Sideshow. Hot Toys quality is a lot better. Hey, Siri, good day from Costa Rica. Hey, Costa Rica, welcome, man. Mark 9 post. Still here, Siri. Beautiful. Thank you, guys. Mark 9 post. Don't know what you mean, Mark 9 post. When we talk about the Mark 9, love my Mark 9. It's a great deal right now, as a matter of fact. If you wanted to get a hold of one, Big Bad Toy Store is giving you back, I think, $150, $175, maybe even $200. Originally it was like a $400 figure because it comes with Pepper Potts. You could have bought Pepper Potts by herself if you wanted to, but the Mark 9 is really, it's like a Mark 20 Python, only the hips are different. So it has the Mark 17 legs, the Mark 7 top, but the hips are different between the Mark 20 and the Mark 9. Landing pose. Oh, the Mark 9 landing pose, is that what you want to see? Let's do it. What's also neat about this Mark 9, and I have him down in my Hall of Armor in the bottom. is his armor is kind of a satin. It's not. Oh, the helmet keeps falling off. It's a satin armor. What in the world? It's like 4 times I dropped his little faceplate. So all the other, you know why? That's not his faceplate. So I made this Mark 9 helmet. This is not the helmet that came with the Mark 9. It is the helmet that came with the Mark 9, but I put the Tony Stark face in there. I did it to a lot of my guys. So I bought an additional Mark 9 helmet and then put a Tony Stark face in there. For some reason, I don't know what in the world I was doing. I've got a Mark, what that is, 6? No. That I was using as a faceplate on there, so it doesn't close on there. And I kept trying to close it on there. It's not going to close on there because it's not designed for that. See? There I go again. Don't know what I did with my original one. Get that figured out. Now I done knocked this little magnet piece out. So yeah, I made, I don't know, 6 or 7 little face sculpts on them. I didn't make the face sculpts. I mean, put sculpted helmets in there. Landing pose. So, don't know if it can be done with this guy. Let's see. So he has the articulated waist. You can pop them apart. The hips should separate by pulling on them. Let's see. Yep. So you're going to want to get them all separated so you can position him. The one that really does the landing pose the best, the Mark III Diecast. If you want to put one into a landing pose, buy the Mark III Diecast. It actually has an articulated waist just for that. Other than that, there really is no real easy way to get these into the landing pose. Almost impossible, truthfully. And so all you end up doing is getting kind of a leaned over, twisted thing. Because you can turn them to some degree, like such. And then you can pull the arm as well. But you really can't get a true full-on landing pose without having some of the newer die-cast ones. So you just kind of end up with this weird looking thing here. That's the landing pose for a Mark 9. That's it, man. I hate to tell you. With the advent of the new arriving of the Mark 7 diecast, I have a feeling this is going to be a remade figure. When they first announced diecast figures, Mark 17 is the one that they told us was going to be the first diecast. Way back in the day, 3-4 years ago, whatever it was the Mark 17 diecast figures coming, and it was the Mark 17. So that was before the Mark 17 was released. Then the Mark 17 was released, total plastic, there's nothing diecast in him. So for whatever reason, they didn't make him the first diecast. And if I remember correctly, I think Mark 3 was the first Hot Toys Iron Man diecast. If I remember correctly. Maybe in the 42. I don't remember, guys. Which one was it? But this is it. On the diecast ones, they did a lot better job of doing it. So you can do this, but it doesn't work. Keep in mind, I went on that rant about the diecast because the elbows on these Mark 7s will melt. And I don't mean melt from like heat in the light. I mean it melts from age. I've had so many, okay, twice. I've had the lights go out because of this elbow. So these elbows are bad. So be careful on these. You really don't want to bend these guys much. So any one of these Mark 7s with these elbows, keep that in mind when you are posing your figures. You don't really want to bend that elbow. So, but yeah, I love my Mark 9. But now let me tell you my opinion and theory on things. It wasn't the Mark 9 that came at the end to seek and destroy Pepper Potts because she was an extremist infected individual. It was the Mark 8. I know one of you guys had told me that, and I looked at that and I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. It is the Mark 8 that came down after them. And you can tell when watching the video, the feet and the legs. Because remember, feet and legs on this Mark 9 are the Mark 17. The feet and legs on the Mark 8 are the Mark 33 Silver Centurion. The legs and the feet on that Iron Man suit that attacks Pepper Potts is a Mark 8, not the Mark 9. The arm that she wears when she blasts the missile or rocket or whatever that she kicks at Killian is the arm of the Mark 8, not the Mark 9. You also can see when he's flying, there's just this little difference in the little sides here. You can see the Mark 33 ribbing in there, very slightly. You have to study the images in order to be able to determine that, but there's no doubt about it. When you actually know what you're looking at, if you're an avid Iron Man collector and are familiar with the suits, you'll recognize that's a Mark 8 in the Iron Man 3 movie at the end that is attacking Pepper Potts. It's the only armor it could possibly be. It's not a Mark 9. So there's that. I'm glad I could get that for you. You asked me to do that for you a long time ago, and I'm sorry I didn't get around to it until just now. So let's get back to this Mark II diecast. I got enough time? Hopefully. Let's get this back out first, which just has the case. I'm glad to have this little round base. I like the round bases. I've used them in my Hall of Armor underneath, and I think I needed one more, to tell you the truth, in order to be able to display all my figures. I did need one more. And what am I putting down there? Oh yeah, that's where I'm going to put my Mark 41 Retro, a red and gold one, which I haven't unboxed yet. Got 23 shades and a 41 Retro I haven't unboxed yet. So what we got here? It comes with the solid armor, solid arm, right? Yeah, it's Hot Toys. So in one instruction they'll say, make sure you always use this solid arm with your diecast figures because the diecast is too heavy to use the articulated arm. And then they go ahead and will send out a War Machine or a 45 or a 46 or something to that effect with an articulated arm or with the little sliding crotch grabber that doesn't hold nothing. And I'm like, hello, didn't you just tell us these are the only things we should be just posing your diecast figures with? Jeez. And I'm glad to get a lobster claw and crotch holder, whichever, because sometimes I use one or the other for different figures. I'll move my figure bases around depending on what the scenario is that I want to pose my figure in. Glad my internet's holding. Traditional, regular old style diecast figure box here. Of course, something always falls out. Lost his little helmet there. There he is. And I'm curious if this is done as the Mark III diecast or if this is done as the Mark II diecast. Ian, what do you got going on here? I got some comments. I'm having people here real quick. Stay, BB-8. He started rolling around. Lubricant for the elbows every 6 months. Okay, really helps. There's always time for lubrication. I'm with you, man. Silicone lubricant. Where do you buy it at? And is there a brand you use? Megatron 1. When do you get the round bases from the original lineup came with the round bases. So like the 2, the 3, 4. Don't remember if the 5 came with one. I believe the Iron Patriot and the War Machine Mark II did. And if you were lucky enough to purchase the Hot Toys version, Hall of Armor made out of styrofoam, they came with the little round bases also. So essentially, they are an antiquated, no longer offered base. So that's why I was glad to get another one. And they light up and they move. So let's see if this one's still the same as the originals. Yeah, you can put a battery in here, turn this on. Unlike the black ones, they light up. The black one, the only one that lights up is the one that comes with the entire setup, which I normally have sitting here, but which I removed in order to be able to set this up as my little display stand. And so the light comes here on the sides, and it comes underneath here. There's a little thing this lights up, and this moves like that on both sides. So you can tighten it down or loosen it up. And that's how that works. And here it would tell you what it is. If you bought the original Styrofoam Hall of Armor, I think it just says Iron Man 3 on it. I did not buy a single one of those. Now I regret it, and it's always one of those things. You look at it originally, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to pass on that because that's junk. And then you look at it later, and like, man, I wish I'd bought that because I could sure use a few of them. But yeah, this is certainly, it looks like it's cast from the original mold. There's a couple different color variations on these. For the most part, they're all silvery grayish, but sometimes they're darker or lighter. But that's them. So Ian, did you say there was a name brand for the lubricant, or a specific lubricant that you use, or you just go like to the hardware store and buy a silicone lubricant there? Is that what you do? And also, is that the same thing that you would do with like the Bison figures? And the elbows like on Thor? Oh, you know, speaking of looking at these little hands, the hands that came with my Hulk Gladiator, they're articulated. And that really caught me off guard. I didn't notice that when I first pulled them out. And I'm really happy to see that. That's pretty cool. So you have 3 pairs of hands that come with the Hulk Gladiator. All right, we got the flares back. You have the fisted hands, you have the holding weapons hands, and then you have the articulated hands. So you actually have articulated hands with Hulk Gladiator. Here's the little flare guys. I was talking about them in my Mark 6 video, that these were in the Mark 3 figure, and in the original Mark 6, original Mark 4, you could pop them out literally by pushing on them, and then they do like a little weird pop out thing. But on the Mark 3, they gave us these little pieces here, and they didn't do that on the new Mark 4, Mark 6. I thought they would have. They decided not to. So I'm glad to see at least did that with this. But at the same time, I'm starting to think this may be the same figure as the Mark III, which, by today's standards, this Mark III is not doing what it should be doing. It's poor quality, would I say? Compared to the new ones. Compared to like the Mark 46, the Mark 47, the new Mark 6, the new Mark 4 that came out. Oh my God. That Mark III needs to be redone. That's a fact. Am I angry that I have that Mark III? Heck no. But does it need to be redone? Heck yeah. So I'm wondering if this is the same. Now, a fella contacted me and asked me to turn an original Mark III into a Mark II. And I thought, oh heck, I can paint that. And it was the middle of February, and freaking raining every single day. And you guys know if you try to paint anything in humid, wet, cold, it just doesn't work right. And it was one hassle after the other. And I felt so bad after taking so long to try to do it, putting on so many layers of paint to keep messing with it. And the color just totally went from being dead on to being not even close. I refunded his money, apologized over and over again for being a bad man, not getting him out to him. And I really feel bad about that. I kept it. And it looks like it's not as nice as it should. So I can real quickly grab the Mark III that turned into a Mark II, or attempted to, for a comparison. We have a head sculpt here, which what I'm afraid of is going to look like the head sculpts from years ago. And no, it's not. It's actually really good. I'm really impressed with that. It doesn't have the appearance of the old, way overexposed, isn't it? The old Iron Man head sculpts, which were, I don't know, they look cartoony. So this looks like up-to-date Iron Man, only with the proper beard from Iron Man 2. It's just a little bit different shaving on that. So that's good quality. I like that. On the Mark 47, though, but sold eBay, have it, they are evil priced. Yes, they are. You know, that's the good and bad of the collection. The good of the collection is knowing that your figure is going to increase in value. The bad of that means if you missed it when it first came out, which even I've had to play that game, you pay that increased price. So I feel you, man. I feel you. I don't know if I could ever part with my Hot Toys. I suppose I probably could one day. So this is supposed to be a little shield, I'm assuming. I like the other one better, although he's a mess. So let's have a look here at this guy. So this was originally a Mark III diecast, which I tried to convert over to a Mark II and painting him. And like I said, originally he started off in the right color, but then he's got probably 6 or 7 layers of paint on him, and each one just turned it more and more away from this and into that. So I couldn't deliver it. I just couldn't do it. So I put him over here with my War Machines. So the question I'm wondering is it the same figure? And I'm hoping not. So like that save, it's gonna smash mine and my R2s, man. That would have messed that up. That would have not been pretty. One way we'll know real quick is if this chest piece here is the same. Come on. There you go. You can see some of the layers of paint. You can see originally the silvers that I was painting it on was dead on, but as it's kind of my fault, kind of not my fault, as changes were made to things, I'd have to repaint, you know, because when you repaint something like this, a lot of times you can't pose it much, because every little pose is going to change something up. Let's have a look here. Okay. Those are not the same pieces. Totally. So that's encouraging. I'm going to assume it's not. See this? Mark III does the same thing. It's just, well, Mark III. It is a Mark III. This is what the some of the problem that I was talking about. It just was. It was a good. Glad to have it in the beginning, but some of these original ones you just have some problems with. So, not telling you not to get one. Definitely, if you need one for your collection, you're going to want to get it. But like I did not even paint underneath there. Painted everything, man. I was trying to do a really quality job. But the he's not up to today's standards of, for instance, the Mark 47, which I think is a pretty fine figure. So I think this is kind of supposed to be like an Armor Unleashed. No? I'm going to say not on that. I'm going to say this is not like an Armor Unleashed at all. I'll have to read the instructions on him. Give a good review on comparison video to this guy, which is an Armor Unleashed. And these are really neat. Really flimsy. Really have to be careful with this guy. Really like this. That's the new version of it. This actually all folds up and slides in there. The whole thing does. It actually just compresses right into the arm. Really cool where they did that. I like that a lot. They put a lot of attention and care into this figure. But because he's so actionable, very fragile. So here's the comparison of those two right there. So it did a pretty good job, but it's just not as cool as it all being able to open and close on your own if you wanted it to. These little flaps here, they have all the little metal screens, which Hot Toys is no longer doing that. So you have a little flap here, a little flap there, all these little metal screens underneath here, like that. I mean, look at that. The Armor Unleashed. If you can get a hold of one of these, I don't know why, I don't even know if they're even available, but these should be worth a lot more than I imagine what they're selling for. They're extremely super cool. You see how these flaps are. I'm assuming not as cool. We have an additional flap here. We do have that extra flap. We do not have the little metal arm pieces underneath here. On the Mark III Diecast, that was the last one that they made the little arm piece screens on. The screens were totally wrapped into plastic. It took all day to get the plastic cut off of them because it was almost like tape. It was sticky on both sides. I couldn't really get it in there. I was practically damaging the pieces to do it. But that's the last one that they made the little screens on. And I miss those little screens. I mean, this looks cool. It's cleaner. But the screens are really cool. They've changed, obviously, the helmets on them now. On the old ones, the helmets had the neck that actually lit up. The neck had a ball on it, and that lit up the eyes. And so now this will actually fit on any of the others of the new ones. So it's interchangeable in that regards. This helmet is here if you wanted to. I think it's like the Mark 12 has a silver helmet. So check the comments here. Anything else you guys are asking me about? Mark 47. On eBay, sometimes a silicone grease 80 milliliters waterproof multi-purpose lubricant about 3 pounds 50, but you only use a smear at a time. No idea about using it on the Fison though. All right, thank you, Ian. Dazul. Unleashed look better, but one thing is he isn't diecast. No, he is not. Now, Mark V diecast, that thing really opens up like the Armor Unleashed, differently but the same. And Unleashed is almost a figure you can't even handle, as it is so fragile. Yes, Ruben, you are right. I am really careful with my Armor Unleashed. Really love this open helmet. Same thing you get with the Mark 47, the emptiness inside there, because you the main pose that Hot Toys was advertising this on was when Rhodes took the Iron Man Mark II suit to the air base. What was it? Edwards Air Force Base he took it to, and then they contacted Justin Hammer, and he was going to turn it into the War Machine Mark I, the original War Machine. So this is what became the War Machine. So they had him laid out there, and it's like, what can you do with this? And that's what they did, was disassembled this and then reassembled it as the War Machine Mark I, and that's why he came with his little helmet with nothing in it. And I made one of those for my Mark 42. But it's not as cool as that one is. And then when I seen the Mark 47 had one, oh, come on, of course, had to get that. But that's one really cool thing. Man, the Mark II Armor Unleashed, definitely a loved figure. It's so funny. One of the things I'm asked is, what's my favorite figure? It changes, I guess. Right now, I'm really digging on this Mark II Armor Unleashed. So I'm going to make a little Hot Toys video of the new R2-D2 coming out. Get that posted up. And show you what I got over here. Still needs to be unboxed. I have a Civil War Ant-Man, and I buy these guys because I like that they are, come on, Ant-Man, you can make them any scale you want. I've got a transforming Bumblebee car, of course. I've got a mask made by Ace, right there. I finally bought my Lady Death. Let's get some light over here. Maybe not. So I finally bought my Lady Death. To get her unboxed. Got the Jatari, Rocket and Groot, Mark 41 Retro, Mark 23 Shades, a Guardians of the Galaxy something, a Daredevil, and the Spider-Man Homecoming suit. So that's what I got upcoming. I got figures coming from Big Bad Toy Store. Always seems like coming from Big Bad Toy Store. So stay tuned. See y'all next week. And thanks for dropping by and spending a Saturday with me. I'm sorry about the technical difficulty that we had. And I'll see you guys next week live again. And I hope you guys enjoyed the premiere video I did. That was pretty fun. And if you guys want more of those, let me know. Day, you're welcome. And really glad to see all you guys in here. And I'm sorry the video did this little jerky digital thing that I see it doing right now. I hope it was good. Last week's video was bad in regards to that. I was watching that later. I was like, wow, look at all that digitization on there. That's my internet company doing that. So guys, again, thanks for joining me, and enjoy your figures and happy collecting. And hey, comment below anything else you want me to do. This is your show for real. And subscribe, tell your friends about me, and see you in the next video. Happy collecting.